Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and that is Mazda's best-selling model. That is the 2023 Mazda CX-5 crossover. And in this video, I'm going to take you on a quick tour and compare it to the confusing other option in the Mazda lineup, the CX-50, which we really liked. Stay tuned. With their LED bulb replacements, you can upgrade your vehicle's lighting in just a few minutes right in your driveway. We upgraded the headlights in our Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk thanks to our partnership with Auxito, and you can too. Just be sure to click the link down below and use the coupon code GTGarageTalk for 15% off your order and get new bulbs in your vehicle today and help out our channel in the process. Huge thanks to Auxito for their help. All right, before we get into this one too much, I do want to say a huge thank you to Mazda for delivering this to us to review for a week. But let's get into the review and point out what really makes this thing different over the CX-50 that we've tested quite a bit here and actually really like. First point of difference is how the hood is supported. So the CX-50 has gas struts, whereas this CX-5, well, you had to support it with a prop rod. Underneath the hood, though, is the exact same 2.5 liter Turbo 4, the Skyactiv G Turbo 4 to be precise, making 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic, and for 2023, all CX-5s are all-wheel drive. So very similar powertrain to the CX-50 here in the CX-5, even though this is technically a completely different platform. When we close the hood, we can appreciate the Mazda styling. This is the second generation of this platform, and you can see that a lot of the future design of the brand actually stems from this vehicle. Again, this is their best-selling model, so it would behoove them to make it the most appealing, both in looks and in features, all that. And this is a rather attractive vehicle, but compared to the long, low, wide stance of the CX-50, this one kind of has a little bit more of a cute ute stance. It's just a little more cute than the CX-50. The CX-50 has a little more rugged appearance to it than the CX-5. But what I can tell you that I really like about the CX-5, the headlights. So we have LED running lights, LED headlights that are adaptive, so if you're driving around the corner at night, they actually turn to help light your way. So I like that a whole lot. This is showing Mazda's older tech here, hiding the adaptive cruise behind the Mazda logo. So this giant shield in front of the Mazda logo, but it is a very nice, very premium looking logo, very bold up here in the grille. And the entire grille, the look of it is just a little less aggressive than that CX-5 or CX-50, but maybe that's what you're looking for here in the CX-5. Something just a little more tame, a little more mainstream. Because again, this is their best-selling vehicle, so they want to make sure it appeals to the most broad audience. Coming around to the side, we no longer have black wheel arches and lower body panels. Everything is body color on this one. This color is machine gray, and I'm just so sad that it is not their sole red crystal that Mazda is absolutely known for and beloved for. That is perhaps the best red in the business. Many other brands are starting to imitate and copy it. General Motors has really started rolling out their red tint coat that does a fairly good job mimicking. But this machine gray gives this one a very nice look, very subtle, not in your face, not overly pretentious or anything. It is just a nice gray paint job, but the quality of this paint, it is a very nice paint. I know we don't talk about that a whole lot on the channel, but even though it is not the sole red crystal, you can still tell that Mazda puts a lot of passion into how they manufacture and paint their vehicles even. Coming down here to the wheels and tires. So the CX-50 got 20-inch wheels and tires on their top trim. We have 19-inch wheels here. These are 225/55 19s. They are Toyo tires, wrapped around these nice multi-spoke wheels. Again, just a slight point of difference, 19 versus 20. Again, that CX-50, a little more aggressive, a little more with the times. That CX-50 is not built on this same platform. It's actually built on the smaller CX-30 platform and stretched out to fill this same size class. Coming around here to the back, you can see the tail lights and turn signals mimic the lighting up front, so just a nice clean look. I actually think the CX-5 looks better than the CX-50 when you get back to the back, because it's just a little more of a cohesive look, a little more round, and I just like the look of the back of the CX-5 better. You can see we get our signature all-wheel drive badge over here, Skyactiv G turbo badge over here, and then to open the hatch, there is a button underneath the giant Mazda logo. And here is another point of difference between this and the CX-50. So the CX-50 is longer, lower, wider, and to that end, when the seats are up like they are here, you actually have just a little bit, woo, big wind coming. You have a little bit more space in the CX-50, 31.4 in that CX-50, 29.1 here in this CX-5, which is made evident by just how much room I have on the other end, this end of our largest suitcase. So you can see it's just a little bit shorter, but when you fold the seats down, which this one actually has a 40-20-40 split rear seat that you can fold from the rear hatch right here, including that 20% section. So you can fold all three sections, no matter how you like it. You can just fold that middle section down or either of the two outboard sections. I will say the 20% does follow the driver's side section. So if you're interested there, you can see Tucker's car seat is over on the passenger side. But comparing it to the CX-50, which gets 56.3 cubic feet with all seats folded, this CX-5 makes it with a couple cubic feet more at 58.1. So just a little bit more space overall when you go with the larger, rounder, taller CX-5 over the CX-50. Again, this is their bestseller. This is to go up against the likes of the Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4, and those things are actually very cavernous on the inside. So you make a little bit of a sacrifice for the driving behavior and dynamics of this CX-5, which we'll get to later when we're driving it, but this is definitely the more fun of those to drive. Underneath the false load floor right here, and it's going to be a little difficult with my suitcase, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. You actually get a split folding rear floor. So when you remove this section, you can see we do have a temporary spare down here. This is a Yokohama, not a Toyo. And then we have our Bose our subwoofer hidden, nice space savings right there, but hidden within the temporary spare. And this is a hard false load floor. It does have two different sections. So that 28 cubic feet number that I quoted earlier, you can see if you drop this down to the lower section, which is just a little bit lower, you get right at 30 cubic feet. So there are a couple of different options you can do for your cargo loading back here. So still a little less than the CX-50, even with the floor dropped to its lowest position. Not quite sure why you would want it in a taller position. I guess so you have a little more room over here, but just something to note. The hatch button is right here. I am going to show you, I am 5'10". The hatch opens just enough for me to get under it. I would say a 6-foot person would be right there bumping your head, but there's the hatch button to close the power hatch. Before we get inside this one, I do want to show you the key. Typical Mazda key. Even the new CX-90 gets this same key. Nothing too special here. Very easy to slip in your pocket. All the buttons are here on the side. Lock, unlock, hatch, and panic. No remote start button here on the key fob. I've been told by owners you have to have the app for that. So on our press trips here, when we get them for a week at a time, unfortunately, we can't test all that out. This does have the proximity key, so you can just walk up to it. This one even has the feature on it see if I can actually get it to work, where it notices when you walk away from the vehicle and will lock it rather quickly when you get away from it. It's probably not going to do it now just because I've got the camera rolling, but it's a very nice feature if you're worried about somebody getting into your vehicle. This does have buttons on the front doors, but not on the rear doors to lock and unlock it. So there, we've got it locked, and the mirrors fold in to let you know. And then you can unlock it right here. And I've actually got it set to, on one press, it just unlocks this door. On the second press, it unlocks all the doors, but that is a customizable feature when you get inside. We'll start here on the door while we've got some light on it, because when I get in and close the door, you won't be able to tell that this interior is actually a very nice dark brown, which I appreciate. But here on the door panel, you can see we've got Bose speakers, you've got window controls, window lockout, lock, unlock, and your mirror control. A little bit of accenting here, a little bit of stitching. Very nice overall. And it just lets you know about what you're gonna get into when you move in here. Again, before we get in, I want to show you the controls on the seats here. So you have two-person memory right there, and then all your position controls with your lumbar right here. So very easy to control. They are heated, ventilated, and do a really good job at all of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get in the vehicle, close the door, because it's getting windy and a little brisk out there. It is a proximity key, so when you put your foot on the brake, this green light turns on and you can start the vehicle from there. And then you can see we've got nice 10.25-inch screen right here, 7-inch helper screen right here. That does a good job mimicking an analog speedometer right there in the middle. A very nice overall display and combination of screens in here. Very similar, again, to what you get in the CX-50. Very similar to what you get in a lot of Mazda premium products, in fact. So very similar infotainment options, screen options, interior options. It's more or less the packaging in here that's a little bit different. So again, we've got that nice material up here with the faux stitching. Very nice. Gives an upscale look that continues across here to the dash, all the way across to the passenger door. Very nice, very upscale look. I will note, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. Let's see if I can do that here. We've got multiple different camera views that we're just going to cycle through all of them, but this does have Mazda's infotainment, and unfortunately not a touchscreen. So we've got the knob here that helps you interact and control the screen up here. Some people love it, some people hate it. I like just having the option, so I don't mind this because I really like having all the infotainment controls down low where I can reach them. I like the shortcut buttons. I like the volume being right here. I like it being within reach so that I don't have to reach up here all the time, but I just want the option of being able to use this as a touchscreen, especially going through Apple Carplay. It's just a touch interface. That's how it was designed. And so when you had to scroll through it with a wheel, not my favorite. Other than that, that is really my only gripe with the infotainment in here. Works rather nicely. You can see we've got some nice vents, some nice wood and metal look all up here. Very nice, very upscale, very premium looking interior here. This is where you'd get the lights letting you know what seat belts are buckled or unbuckled in the back. You do have a heated steering wheel, so quick access button right there. We have a 3-position seat heat on the seat bottom and a ventilated seat as well. These do not appear to be latching features based on my time with it, so a little unfortunate there. I really like if these remember where they were set the last time the vehicle was on. We do have dual mode climate controls, and you can see it is a fully automatic system as well. And then I mentioned the seat earlier, but these are very comfortable seats. I really like this brown tone in it. It's an upscale look for sure. And they're nice, they're supportive, and they do well for long hauls. Coming over here, we've got that 7-inch screen in the middle. Like I said, does a good job mimicking an actual analog dial, but we have an analog tach and then your fuel and temperature gauges over here. You can see this does have traffic sign recognition, so posted speed limit, stop sign, things like that are displayed right there. But we also have a very nice head-up display that I hope you can see there on the ground in front of me. It's projected on the windshield, and again, we get our actual speed, our posted speed. If we're using cruise control, we'd get our set speed there. Very nice. It also displays your turn-by-turn navigation. So very nice setup right there. I was cycling through all the camera buttons earlier. Mazda puts some additional controls here over your left knee. That's where your hatch button is, your lane keep, your parking sensors, and then the camera button right here. So going through the different cameras, we have very, very nice cameras in this one. So you have your bird's eye 360, and that view is actually out the front. That view is a wide angle out the front, and then that is from my rear view mirrors looking over my wheels. And if I were to put it in, or let's see here, if I were to put it in reverse, I would actually get my backup camera again with bird's eye 360. And do I have to do the knob here, or does it? Nope, it doesn't let me. So if I want that wider view, I had to hit the camera button right here to get that wider view. So again, this is not a touchscreen in any way, shape, or form, but yeah, those are your different camera options. And then you also get your trajectory here and on your bird's eye 360. So just helping you know about where you're going to be, where you're going to park, things like that. Very small, compact, maneuverable vehicle. So I'm not too worried about parking this one, especially considering we just had a full-size Chevy truck that is absolutely massive, but this thing's very easy to park, to drive, to maneuver. I do feel, due to its sporty steering, that its maneuverability at low speeds is not up to some other competitors. We drive a 2014 Jeep Cherokee. We drive the Trailhawk model. I just feel it's a little more maneuverable in our driveway. That could just be me. Room in here is very nice. I'm 5'10". I'm able to get my seating position very nicely. This is a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel, but I already showed you the 2-position memory seat here, so me and my 5-foot wife can find the right driving positions. This does have a standard sunroof right here that does not have a power shade, so if you like just being able to flip it open and not have to worry about it, you get a nice standard sunroof right here. It's in a good position that I can actually enjoy the benefits of it right here, and you can see it doesn't really cut into my headroom at 5'10", and being that it's not a panoramic roof, you don't have to worry about that in the back seat, which is a good segue. Let's go check out that back seat. All right, moving to the back seat. You can open the doors. You can see they open very nice and wide, and that'll come in handy in our family review when I'm actually installing Tucker's child seat. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I do want to note here, no sunshades on the back window, but a very nice overall appearance back here. You get the same faux stitching. Very nice, not a second-class citizen, but let's get inside, out of the wind again, and take a seat. So still nice amounts of legroom back here. There is a cutout on the back of the seat. We do get a map bucket here, and on the passenger side, 2 air vents on the back of the center console, but no power back here. So that is, again, something the CX-50 offered, just being that it's a newer vehicle. It has a few more modern amenities, much like that panoramic roof. So big differences on the inside are your panoramic roof options and a little bit of your power infotainment entertainment options here in the back seat. I did mention we do have Tucker's child seat in. I'll do a full installation of that in our family review. Then we have a fold down center armrest here with your heated seat buttons right here. So very interesting placement of those 2 cup holders side by side, and then a little bit of storage underneath here. And I did find the power. So no power on the back there. Interesting that Mazda puts all of that here in the middle. You can see I have not ridden back here quite as much as I've driven it. So very nice to find the USB-A ports back here, and a nice little bit of covered storage. I guess you could put a pack of travel Kleenex back here, and very nice, just a little bit of extra storage. Not all vehicles offer a center console back here in the back. So very nice option there. I did mention it is a 40-20-40 split, so you can fold it down and allow long items to pass through right here. But again, with the Tucker's child seat in here, It's kind of getting into the way a little bit of the operation of this one, and got to make sure it clicks into place. I do like how the seatbelt for the middle is actually here in the seat, so you don't have to worry about it coming out of the ceiling or having to detach it if you want to fold the seats down for additional cargo space or anything like that. Overall, seat comfort back here is very good. It's not too hard, not too firm. The seat bottom feels a little short to me, but I'm not really complaining about it. You can see my knees are not up underneath my chin or anything. Very comfortable overall seating position back here in the back. Again, thanks to the non-panoramic roof, I've got a nice cutout here that gives me a lot of headroom, especially if I sit back and get comfortable on this one. Be a very good vehicle to road trip in, very comfortable, no complaints back here in the back. It is now time to hop in and see how this thing drives and behaves on the road. All right, getting comfortable in the Mazda CX-5, very much like the mechanical gear selector lever here. And I will note, the last time I was in the CX-50, which was in Chicago, I noted how close I felt to everything immediately after getting into it, especially the rear view mirrors. Similar-ish feeling getting into this one. I do feel like, you know, I'm in the vehicle. There's a vehicle around me. It feels a little more compact than I'm used to in some other vehicles. Again, my wife and I drive a 2014 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, and all of this is really stemming from that being our most driven vehicle in our family. Just a little bit different overall packaging in here. These mirrors are post-mounted here on the doors, so that's perhaps one reason why they just feel a little bit closer to me. Overall though, getting in this CX-5, it feels like pretty much any compact crossover. Very nice, very good ride height. It's everything you would expect it to be. With this 6-speed automatic transmission, many people lament its low amount of gears compared to some of the competition. I don't see that as much of a problem, especially if you activate. We've got sport, normal, and off-road drive modes here with the My Drive, Me Drive, however you want to call it. You put it in sport mode, that engine is plenty powerful enough, has got nice levels of torque, like diesel level amounts of torque, over 300 pound-feet of torque, which is what really matters when it comes to actually getting out and going in traffic, which is what we're going to do right here. It's a very, very good, very powerful engine. Sounds all right too. Not a lot of complaints on this one. Does a good job of motivating you, getting you down the road. I don't lament the lack of an 8 or 9 or 10 speed automatic. Mazda does a really good job with this 6-speed. Yes, on paper, oh, it doesn't have 8 speeds, but it does a really good job, and it always finds the right power band for the engine. I've got no complaints there. Did mention all CX-5s are all-wheel drive now, so you've got that extra bit of confidence when it comes to wet weather, slippery weather, icy weather, whatever the case may be. This one, don't know that I'd be taking it off-road because it is the top trim. We've got all those body painted wheel arches, things like that. It's not exactly geared for off-road, whereas that CX-50 definitely was. It had more black plastic on it than this one does. So pros and cons between the two of them. They clearly want you taking the CX-50 off-road more than the CX-5 now. Building a little bit of differentiation between the two there, especially because they've got the same powertrain and same general dynamics, same general size, same general competitors in the market. So just breaking it up a little bit. I do have a friend who owns one-off productions. He had one of these for his production vehicle for over a year, and we did some fun off-road stuff in it. So it is something, it is capable, it can do it, but he has since traded up to a larger vehicle. We won't get into that, but go check him out. He's done a lot of fun stuff for us. We'll say putting it in sport mode, with this 6-speed transmission, it does hold gears a little bit longer. So here in traffic where I'm having to slow down for the vehicles in front of me, you can hear that it's holding those gears just a little bit longer. So in normal driving, in normal drive mode, you're going to be very comfortable in this. This has Mazda's typical suite of safety and driver assistance tech in it, blind spot monitors, and another thing that I really like about this head-up display is it'll give you a little visual indication if someone's in your blind spot. So not only do you have it on your mirrors themselves, but you have it right there in front of you, just letting you know in an instant that somebody's in your blind spot, because sometimes you may have to dart out of the way, and the handling in this will absolutely allow you to dart out of the way very quickly. But it's just nice to know from looking in front of you that you're a little safe over your shoulder over there, and you don't have to worry about anyone being there. So nice feature there. I like that a lot. Mazda's got a pretty good head-up display, and not overwhelming you with information up front there, but putting it back into sport mode, putting it over, slamming it down, you can see, yeah, it's a fun little engine, and yes, it holds those gears. You also get an auditory warning if somebody is in your blind spot and you put your blinker on. So just, again, more safety tech, more driver assistance tech built in, especially if you drive properly, use your blinker signal, do all that fun stuff. But I'm gonna turn here on the brick streets of downtown Tyler, Texas. Again, man, this thing is fun and sporty and not too bad. If you want to see Holly and Tucker drive this down this road, be sure and hit the subscribe button so you can see our family review when it drops later this week. But this is a very well buttoned down cabin. The reason why I brought this down here without them is just to talk about how solid this is as a platform, how well it's built. The only noise I'm hearing is Tucker's child seat rattling back there in the back. There are no squeaks, there are no rattles. This is very, very rock solid, and I appreciate that in a vehicle that is going to be a family vehicle. It's going to be the runabout. It's going to be the one putting in the miles on a road trip. This really is a very, very well buttoned together, buttoned down vehicle, and I really appreciate it. So just a lot of good tech in this, a lot of good amenities in this. I didn't even mention the Qi wireless charger. So I've got an iPhone 14 Pro Max. There we go, got it all out. The Qi wireless charger is actually up here on this one. It actually does charge my iPhone 14 Pro Max, whereas in the CX-50, it was underneath the split folding center console, and it didn't charge my 14 Pro Max. So just a little bit different packaging options. Works a little bit better here on the CX-5 versus the CX-50. Me personally, I'm not the biggest proponent of Qi wireless chargers in vehicles, especially because this one does not have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto in it. You have to plug in with the USB-A cord that is here in the center console. There are channels for you to roll it out here and have it plugged in. Just something that if you're going to put a wireless charger in, you should put wireless CarPlay and Android Auto in. That's just me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments your thoughts down below. But overall, very competent vehicle. I like it a lot. So that brings me to, would I buy this or the CX-50? Which appeals to me more? I would say the more rugged, masculine styling of the CX-50, a little bit more storage space behind the rear seats when they're up, and just a little more modern tech, modern feel makes that vehicle appeal to me just a little bit more. But that does not detract from what this CX-5 offers. This is still a really good vehicle. I absolutely see why it is their best seller, and because it is their best seller, I think that is why Mazda is not committing to do what they are doing with the CX-9 and the CX-90. So Mazda is in the process of revamping their lineup, and they're going from single-digit designations to double-digit designations. So CX-3, CX-30, CX-5, CX-50, and CX-9 to CX-90. The CX-9 is officially phasing out at the end of the 23 model year for the CX-90, but Mazda has not committed to that with the CX-5 and the CX-50. They're going to make them in conjunction with one another, mostly due to the popularity of this vehicle. If you've got something going so well, why mess it up? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That is about it for me and my time in the CX-5. Again, if you want to see what Holly and Tucker think of this, see how it works for us as a family, see me install that child seat in the back seat, absolutely hit the subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you're notified when that video drops. If you want to see more from us, some behind the scenes stuff, me loading luggage back into the back, find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can just go to gtgaragetalk.com. That is all I've got for this one, so until next time, gearheads, bye.